So parents, all I'm saying today is I'm asking us to stand up for our children. I had a tragic loss this year. And if I tell you my world is not spinning, I would be lying to you. But as much as I want to sit back and mourn and go into a corner and not face the realities of the world, I have 3 children. I just lost one, my son, a couple of weeks ago. 2 of them are still in public schools. So I'm either going to have to work hard to get them into homeschool or a private school, or I'm going to have to fight to make sure that the public schools, the traditional public schools, because I don't have access to choice in Connecticut where I live, that these schools become great schools. And it's because of that that I get up every morning and I fight not just for my children, but for your children. But I can't do this alone, and you can't do this alone. If teachers can strike and boycott because they want increased pensions and raises, why don't we boycott and fight against these schools that cripple our babies? They become broken children, then they grow up to be broken men and women, looking for love in all the wrong places because we didn't show them love when they were young children. So I ask you to rise with me. I just finished my book. I haven't gotten it edited, called Game On, Parents. Moving from the sidelines into the game of education reform. And these systems need to be transformed. This is not about political posturing. This is not about political correctness. I'm not thinking about a Democrat or a Republican, because these very systems allow what is happening to our children to continue. I recently became an independent because the Democrats don't respect me as a black woman, and the Republicans are still confused about who we are as people of color. So I'll take my power as an independent thinker, as a critical thinker, as a process thinker. And I'll choose who I want to choose when I go to the polls. But make no mistake about it, I will vote. Because if I don't, the most wrong person might get into office because I choose to be silent. And I won't be silent about things that matter, and our children matter. So as I try to put a good note on this, I would like to congratulate Dr. Steve Perry of Connecticut. Woohoo! Shout out to Connecticut. And P. Diddy, I guess his title, his Twitter handle and Facebook is I Am Diddy, along with other leaders in the entertainment industry, as well as educational industry, who have came together and formed Harlem Capital Prep. It's a charter school that's going to be, I guess it's currently looking for taking applications. And so I listened to the Roland Martin show today, and they talked about pros and cons of charter. But I will say this. As a parent, we want the right to choose. So it shouldn't matter the model of school. What matters is accountability. Doesn't matter whether it's a charter, a traditional, a magnet, a Head Start, a school readiness. It must be held accountable. And who are they accountable? To the children that they are hired to serve. If you don't want to serve children, or if you don't want to serve black children, then you're in the wrong business of education. If you don't want to talk about race, you are in the wrong business of education. Because we have some of the most diverse classrooms in America. And that means we're responsible for each and every one of them. And parents, as I close, I want to say to you that when we hear the word IEP, individualized education plan, we only think it refers to children with special needs. Well, let's make that a positive term. Every child is special. And that means every child has a need. And so that means every child should have an individualized educational plan. And that means that plan to ensure that they are successful, not only from pre-K through 12, but in life as well. While we can't guarantee the future, we have an obligation to make sure of a strong foundation. So every child should have an IEP. What is your IEP as a parent? So I call that IEP squared, individualized plans for parents. So what is it, the plan that you created to ensure your child's success? Because the days of blindly trusting systems are over. And now, because we know better, we must do better. And we must come to a place where we don't negotiate when it comes to the safety, educational, and overall well-being of children. That should be our bottom line. We won't be silent about things that matter because our children matter, and we won't, under any conditions, negotiate their safety, education, and overall well-being. Thank you for joining me, Gwen Samuel, on my first video blog. Forgive me for being too long, but again, game on, parents. It's time for us to move from the sidelines into the game for the sake of our children. Look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.